General Motors EV partnership with Honda ends. GM's CEO new directions shocked all EV car makers. Amidst the UAW strike, Honda is also ending its EV partnership with GM. It was a pretty exciting partnership, and the plan was to use GM's platform and Ultium battery pack to deliver smaller electric crossover SUVs. The ultimate goal? To bring millions of electric cars to the North American market by 2027, all priced below $30,000. The idea was to give Tesla a run for its money. But as they say, the best laid plans often go awry. Fast forward a year, and the two companies have decided to pull the plug on their $5 billion project. That's a significant change, of course. But what's the reason behind it? How is it going to affect GM? Do they have any different plans? This video is here to clarify all the doubts regarding this scenario. To provide some context, a year ago, GM and Honda had everyone talking about their plans to join forces. They were on a mission to make electric vehicles more affordable for consumers, even though the full rollout wasn't expected until 2027. They had this grand vision of co-developing a whole lineup of electric vehicles using a new global architecture. It sounded pretty impressive and would have allowed them to crank out millions of these EVs starting in 2027. GM was already gearing up to build 2 electric SUVs for Honda, with production scheduled to start in 2024. These included the Honda Prologue and a fancier version of the Acura. It was a significant boost to their already close relationship. GM's Vice President of EV Pricing, Ken Morris, had said these new EVs would be priced below the $30,000 mark, making them accessible to regular folks. At this time, the average price for a new electric vehicle was around $60,000. While all new vehicles, whether electric or gas, averaged around $45,000. So the prospect of more affordable EVs was a game changer. GM and Honda had big plans for battery tech too. They were going to use GM's Ultium battery platform and explore new technologies to lower manufacturing costs, which would have meant cost savings for consumers. GM's CEO Mary Barra was all about it, saying they'd share their best technology, design, and manufacturing strategies to make these affordable and appealing EVs a global reality. Young adults seemed pretty keen on the idea of electric cars, with a poll showing that 7 out of 10 of them would go for an EV if they could afford it. The problem, of course, was affordability. But GM had some budget-friendly EVs in the works, like the Equinox EV, priced at the magic $30,000 mark. Teaming up with Honda to bring these affordable EVs to the masses seemed like a win-win for everyone. One big reason for this plan was that gasoline prices were going up and people were worried about it. GM and Honda wanted to offer a cheaper option for cars by making electric vehicles. Luxury electric cars like those from Tesla were expensive, and GM and Honda wanted to change that by working together. This was seen as a good step toward making electric cars something more people could afford. But now, all those dreams are suddenly over. Months before agreeing, with hopes of beating Tesla in sales, GM's CEO Mary Barra stated in an interview with CBS News at the beginning of last year, "We want to lead in EVs, full stop, and so that's where we are aggressively going." The president and CEO of the Ann Arbor-based Center for Automotive Research, Alan Amisi, isn't too surprised about the GM-Honda partnership getting canceled just a year in. Lots of learning going on. How do you make EVs affordable and profitable? And so I think companies are going through that process and they're learning. And they're finding that they may be able to produce a more affordable and perhaps more profitable vehicle if they take a little bit more time for a little bit more optimization. So I think that may be what we're seeing here, Amisi said. Honda CEO Toshihiro Mibe mentioned they would keep working on solutions for EV development challenges and pursue affordable EV production on their own, but they're discontinuing the GM Honda EV project. GM's spokesperson Sanaz Marbly also confirmed the cancellation, but stressed both companies' commitment to affordability in the EV market. This move by GM and Honda comes in the context of some challenges in the EV industry. High prices and interest rates have been affecting demand and automakers' profit margins. Several car companies are adjusting their EV production and cutting costs to attract more customers. Even Tesla has lowered its prices to boost sales, and Ford had to reduce shifts at its F-150 Lightning factory due to parts shortages. Adding to the mix, GM recently announced the delay of production for 2 electric pickups at the Orion assembly plant until late 2025. The plant is set to close at the end of this year, and its 1,000 employees will be relocated to other facilities. Additionally, GM has scaled back its goal to build 400,000 EVs by mid-2024. Despite this cancellation, Honda and General Motors will continue working together on other initiatives like EV battery development and self-driving technology. Their 2024 Honda Prologue, the second model from their partnership, will be available for order by the end of the year. GM seems to be shifting its strategy towards the Chevy Bolt as its entry-level EV, instead of investing more in a joint venture with Honda. They're focusing on scaling the Ultium platform, expanding their EV supply chain, and offering a wide range of EVs, including more affordable models over the next 2 years. These are substantial, long-term investments that are not easy to walk away from or change quickly. On the other hand, Honda plans to launch electric vehicles with solid-state batteries by the late 2020s, starting with a pilot assembly line in 2024, aiming for full operation in the following fall. Despite entering the competitive Chinese EV market late, Honda intends to introduce 3 new models in the next year and expand to 10 by 2027 to strengthen its EV presence over time. Meanwhile, General Motors made a surprising change in its long-term plan. Mary Barra decided to eventually cut down on making electric cars and focus on using hydrogen fuel cells instead. This is surprising because electric cars have been very popular recently. GM was doing so well with electric cars, like the Chevy Bolt, and had plans to make more electric cars under brands like Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and Cadillac. They were competing with Tesla and other electric car companies. Now Barra's decision to use hydrogen fuel cells suggests she thinks they are the future. Unlike electric cars that run on batteries, hydrogen fuel cells use hydrogen gas to make electricity and only release water vapor. They have some advantages, like quick refueling and potentially longer driving distances. GM has some experience with hydrogen tech, especially with a hydrogen-powered truck they made with the US Army. This change has big effects. It might reduce the competition for GM in the electric market, but it could also make other companies, like Tesla, change their plans. Companies like Toyota and Hyundai are also exploring hydrogen tech, with cars like the Mirai sedan and Nexo SUV. If GM does well with this change, it could encourage other car makers to do the same, leading to a split between electric and hydrogen cars. But GM has some challenges. There are fewer hydrogen refueling stations compared to electric charging stations. Also, the way hydrogen is made, often using natural gas, isn't very good for the environment and produces carbon emissions. On a global scale, countries like Japan and Germany are really into hydrogen and have big goals for its use. GM's focus on hydrogen could fit well with these markets and promote international partnerships. For consumers, hydrogen fuel cell cars have benefits like fast refueling, similar to gasoline cars, and potentially longer driving ranges than many electric cars. This could help with worries about charging times and range anxiety. GM's change could lead to improvements in fuel cell cars, affecting the industry, investors, and consumers. Financially, it might raise questions because they're moving away from electric cars, but if they can show that hydrogen tech is successful, it could attract more financial support. However, if things don't go well, it could affect GM's stock prices and investor confidence. And let's not forget the environment. Making hydrogen currently isn't very eco-friendly, so if GM wants to support hydrogen in the future, it needs to focus on clean, renewable ways to make it and make sure the whole process is eco-friendly. For consumers who've been early fans of GM's electric cars, this change will have an impact, so GM needs to address concerns about support and car durability. They need to educate and communicate with the public, especially those who are just starting to use electric cars. In the long term, GM's supply chain and partnerships are changing to focus on fuel cell technology and hydrogen storage, attracting new partners. This shift could make governments offer incentives for hydrogen research and infrastructure, leading to stricter environmental rules. Competition in the car industry may change to focus on energy efficiency, refueling speed, and environmental impact, promoting innovation and competition. So what are your thoughts on this development? Are you excited about the future of clean mobility? Share your insights in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates on the ever-evolving world of automotive innovation. Thanks for watching.